Our final hymn comes to us from what I call the white gospel tradition. Like some of you, I was raised in an evangelical congregation. Circle Be Unbroken. Some of you know it through the A.P. Carter family probably, or through the Cash Carter lineage as well. Circle Be Unbroken was really not their product. The melody pre-existed the Carter family, and the lyric part come to us from that tradition, from the Carter family, much of it not. When I came across, I've been singing this for years and was raised on this stuff. And I remember the first time I walked to a UU workshop on music, two of my fine colleagues were doing a theological breakdown of Will a Circle Be Unbroken. Man, I knew I was in trouble. I was in trouble. So what happened was I talked with the colleagues later. I said, man, I understand, but from that Appalachian tradition, our mom just died. And this is back in a day in which the body was laid upon the table, and we said our goodbyes in very concrete, different ways. Maybe it's macabre, maybe I don't know, maybe we're just weird. But there was a finality about that. And so the Carter family are telling us, and original authors, they have lost a matron of the family and of the faith. So as we sing that, the verses are heavy till we get to that fourth verse. So let's see how this goes. Thank you much. It's a lot to ask verse by verse, but we're going to do it. And there are probably some folks of a certain age who have not heard Will a Circle Be Unbroken, so let's do the chorus. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I was standing by my window on a cold and a cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling just to carry my mother away. Now will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Undertaker, 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 won't you please drive slow? For that body you are hauling, Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. So I followed close behind her, tried to hold up and be brave, but I could not hold my sorrow when they laid her in that grave. So will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Okay, the fourth verse so often gets lost. This is the verse where the theology shifts a little bit, and it has to do with connections. And the idea that just maybe, love transcends whatever happens next. One by one, seats are empty. One by one, go away. But my family, though we parted, oh, we'll meet again someday. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? Methodist ending coming up. I heard better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the good singing. Thank you.
The words were selected by Reverend Rollins. They're a little bit long, I'll warn you of that, and I hope I do them justice, but they're an excellent bookend for what the sermon was. They're by Peter Fleck. Well, let's be frank and admit that the church has its aggravations. The eternal and the oh-so-necessary concern about finances, the annual reoccurring problems of balancing a budget, of finding money for fixing the parking lot, repairing the plumbing, fixing the piano, the ongoing criticism of the minister's sermons, which are all too liberal, some are too unorthodox, others are too pedantic, some are just too colloquial for. And then there's the religious education curriculum and the committee meetings and how to fund the social actions and the persistent shortage of volunteers. Who wants it? Who needs it? The answer to that question is that we all need it. The congregations, the ministers. We want it because we need it. The answer is the church, and I am not speaking of the liberal, I'm speaking now of the liberal church. In spite of its shortcomings, the imperfections that characterize everything made by humans, is better, infinitely better than no church. Maybe I should have said in spite of its shortcomings, but because of its shortcomings. For isn't it true that in our church, in these communities of spirit, we have more resources than outside the churches to accept each other's imperfections, to reconcile our differences, to forgive and be forgiven, to comfort and be comforted, to love and be loved. Isn't that what churches are all about? Because isn't that what life is all about? May it be so.
Go in peace.
Touch each other.